How's it going?
This is
Double Dash Jump.
Welcome to Any Button Podcast, the gaming podcast brought to you by the co-founders of Double Dash Jump. Okay, I am the master of the game club now, Matt.
And I'm Ben. I'm not a master of anything.
No. You're the master of all this. One day, all this. No, it is yours.
Everything that the light touches.
It belongs to you now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Alright, so what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing a lot of Snake Pass, which is
sick.
which is a little puzzle platformer, I guess, on the Switch.
You paid the $10 extra for it on the Switch?
Yes, I did. And you know what? It was worth it, because now I can play it anywhere. That's right. I'm not being paid at all. I'm just trying not to have buyer's remorse here. No. But no, it's great fun, actually, and it's interesting. It's one of those games where every time you fail, you know it's completely your fault, and you can't blame the game in any way, and you just have to hang your head in shame.
It's just like... I like games like that. It's not like, fuck this game, that bullshit.
Like,
you know?
sometimes in Dark Souls, you're like, no, that's not how physics works.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Okay. Come. Alright. I'm gonna do this because he's gonna be making noise throughout the whole...
Yeah.
This is Nimoy. And
He's got a bow tie.
He's our guest star for today. You'll probably be hearing more of him. Okay. But yeah, I've been playing Snake Pass. What about yourself?
I've just been playing Persona 5, and that's it. Just, I said this last week, I was like, been waiting since bloody winter 2014. 3 years.
So are you literally in the bed with the IV drip that's just Persona 5?
Pretty much. Just the
Wouldn't it be good if you could play that anywhere, like on the Nintendo Switch though?
But I'm not going anywhere. The only thing I regret is not bringing my VR over to Jen so I can just lay in bed, don't have to get up, just lay there.
So
I'm about 40 hours into it.
40 hours.
I think.
How long has it been out? How many days?
Came out, Tuesday?
So that's okay. I'm gonna say I'm a little surprised that it's not 100 yet or something.
Yeah, there's been I've had to go out almost every night this week for just something. There's either dinner at someone's house or this, that, and the other. There's always something. It's like, but I'm just sitting there like, need that Persona.
Yo, you got any more of that Atlas?
Yeah. Yeah. So following from the Persona release this week, Atlas posted on their official website a note on Persona 5 and streaming. Yeah. That will be linked somewhere. I don't know. Down below on the screen. No,
maybe.
Maybe.
Do you want a hyperlink?
Maybe, I think.
I don't know if we can do that anymore. YouTube's gotten rid of annotations or something like that. But anyway, go on.
That will be there for if anyone wants to read that in depth. Beware. There's spoiler-esque stuff that they cover in it, but I'll get into that a bit later. Anyway, the general gist of the entire article is spoilers, sweetie. And I quote, "I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned," in all capitals.
Okay.
I watched Jim Sterling's video on this and just kept referencing back to that with a big
capital letters, like
a big booming voice, like, "I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned."
So this is a post on their website.
On the official Atlas page.
On the official website.
Which they put on their Twitter and tweeted it out. So the article starts off with a joke saying it's taken a while for Persona 5 to get there, and then see my previous comment about I've been waiting since winter 2014.
Yes.
They put out a teaser way back in either 2014 or 2013 saying, this winter 2014 is now 2017. Starts off with that and then goes into some general advice about spending your time wisely. Basically, it's a staple. I don't know if you've played it, probably not.
No, I have not.
It's a staple gameplay element in which that you've got a day-to-day activities and you can only do so many activities within that day, and the entire game goes about a year.
All right.
So you've got to use time wisely to rank up. They call it social links in Persona 4, and this one it's confidants. So it's basically how good of friends you are with people, and that gives you added bonuses, new moves. They get to do extra stuff in battle, whatnot. I know personally it's been used for the last two Persona games, Persona 3 and Persona 4/Persona 4 Golden, when it got released on the Vita, and saving often. So that's just general advice.
All right.
But this is where it goes from bantery stuff into the core content of the article. So Atlas, rather than, or the PR person writing this on behalf of the company, has written, as many of you know, story-heavy single-player games. When they're concerned, you don't really want spoilers.
No.
You don't really want spoilers for any game, but you can't really have spoilers for games like Overwatch.
Yeah, because you can't spoil Call of Duty, but you could definitely spoil The Last of Us.
Yeah. And that's when knowing core plot points can deter people from the game if they haven't played it already, or it ruins the experience. I mean, I got Fallout 4 spoiled for me, and that kind of just was like, all right, well, I'm done with this game. Yeah, so at the very least, it just ruins the experience if they've already bought it, and can sometimes deter people from buying the game in general. But I mean, that being said, when streaming is concerned, if I'm going to watch a stream or something, I know in advance this is going to get spoiled for me, or at least I choose a game like Destiny, which can't be spoiled for me.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit funny, like saying, "Oh, don't post spoilers when streaming." It's like, well, it's kind of. I think the onus kind of falls on the person watching the stream. You can't. Yeah. Can't act.
I can see where.
When streaming is involved, that's the case. But when you're just straight up posting pictures or videos to Twitter and like, hey, look, this is the final boss.
Yeah. Oh. So like, if you're streaming Persona 5, you are going into watching that stream knowing that there's going to be spoilers.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. What's worrying about spoilers? In the article, they try and give examples of possible spoilers. They're like, hey, this happens within the first couple of minutes, so don't post stuff like that.
So in saying don't spoil stuff,
they've spoiled it. They've not the entire game.
Yeah.
First hour or two, you kind of get this.
A few minutes in. Yeah.
They just say, hey, don't say this. Try saying it like this, which I'm not gonna say outright.
So, for example, if this was a like Final Fantasy 7, you'd say
spoilers.
You don't
for a game that's been out 20 years.
Yeah, you don't say like Aerith dies. You'd say maybe don't level up Aerith so much. Yeah, I'm just saying don't level into her.
Don't worry about her. She's nice and all, but maybe work on Tifa instead. Yeah. So good job, Atlas.
Spoiling your game.
Spoiling. They also list extra video content that you may post, which also they go, oh, instead of you can post these certain elements and these certain elements, and hey, Ghost.
Dog number 2. And I think that the mic probably just picked up like heavy breathing
and dog ears on the camera. So they post things like, hey, you can talk about early interactions with this person, but don't tell them about what happens later.
Yeah.
Which also are pseudo spoiler points as well. But the real reason this
warning came to fruition.
But it probably wouldn't have been picked up so much if they had have just said, hey, guys, don't post spoilers as much.
Yeah.
It's kind of when they, in the last paragraph, where they went from, please don't do this, to, we're going to fucking take your channel down. And so, quote, if you decide to stream past the 7th of the 7th, which is in-game date, not real life date, you do so at the risk of being issued a content ID claim or worse, a channel strike / count suspension.
Wow, that's... Well, I mean, that makes sense. So that is a solid, technically speaking, like, 7 out of 12... like, 7/12 into the game. Or when does the game start?
Because Japan has the different year start than us. They start the year, or I think the year starts in about April for the game.
Okay.
So it's about 3 months in.
So it's 3 months in. All right. So that leaves... So that's only the first quarter.
Yeah, it's about the first quarter of the game. And I mean...
See, that's a bit harsh. If I was thinking, 7 out of 7, that's just over half.
If that's Australian school terms, yeah. Personally, I haven't hit that date myself.
And like you said, you're 40 hours in.
And I think some of those hours were AFK, so I think my time's a little bit inflated.
Yeah, did you just start the game and just stare at it and not press any buttons?
No, there's times where there's cutscenes, and I sort of just put the controller down, and I'm listening to the cutscenes, I'm watching the cutscenes, and I pick up my phone and check Facebook, and then suddenly the cutscene will end, and I'll just be listening to the music, because the music is fantastic. I loved it.
So you're trying to tell me that this game is so good for yourself that you don't actually need to play it to get enjoyment out of it?
No, I just love the music.
Okay. I was just going to say, that's like a really good rating, if that's the case.
Yeah, so I haven't hit that game. I'm about 40 hours in, so I don't know when Atlas was thinking, like, how long people are streaming for, if they're going to... Because generally when I watch stream, it's multiplayer. Yeah. Like, it's Destiny doing a raid, or playing Crucible, or I'm watching Overwatch and they're doing competitive play.
The only time that I've seen any single-player game streamed is when it's fresh out of the gate.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're hitting 7 of 7 within 12 hours, I think that's a pretty heavy, like, run of the game. And I mean, there's a lot of in between. JRPGs are notorious for having just like lots of cutscenes and lots of dialogue and actual story, and very little gameplay elements sometimes. I mean, games like Danganronpa is basically a visual novel.
I'm gonna pretend I understand. Continue. In
which there's not actual gameplay, like you walk around and talk to a lot of people, and then it's very comic book like, in which they put it out. So I mean, you would have to be skipping a lot of story to be smashing through that much. Also, the thing that I find most annoying, in an effort to try and
prevent this,
they've blocked the native PS4 UI for taking screenshots and recordings.
See, yeah, that's not cool, because...
So every time I earn a trophy, yeah, that's cool. Immediately, the next notification can't take screenshot now.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah. See,
I don't really care for the screenshots and trophies, but there's times where I'm like, that's cool. I want to use that for my theme.
Which I have. You can do that with the new update.
Which I've done. I've already done that. I was playing Danganronpa before Persona 5 came out. I was like, that's a cool screenshot. And so that's my theme now.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying. That my concern is, someone doesn't even know anything about this game, is, are they going to unlock it eventually? Is there an eventuality that you can share stuff, or is it permanently locked?
I mean, I could always try my Japanese version of the game and see if that's still locked, or...
The only thing... And then what I don't like about this is I feel professional streamers won't even use the PS4 UI. They'll use something like Elgato.
Yeah, you can get around it. It's really easy. You can... if you use the remote play feature, you can take screenshots on your computer or on your Vita if you want to. I mean, there is a ways around it, but it's kind of extra effort, and I don't really feel... I'm like,
Yeah, nah. Okay.
And to point further, streamers have just started streaming the game. They're just like, whatever.
They don't care about it, or...
I don't think so. I haven't actually seen streamers myself, but apparently streamers are still, whatever, we'll just keep streaming it. Because I don't know how many people actually...
But that's the thing. How powerful is Atlas as well? Do they actually... Is the threat empty? Or not?
I have no idea. In more PS4-centric news, Jak and Daxter have been announced that they are coming to PS4 later this year.
This game was my childhood game.
See, Ratchet and Clank was mine.
See, I find that you're either Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter. I know one person who's... No, I played both. But otherwise, it's always one or the other. Which I think is also interesting because in Jak 2, you can see a little post-it of Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, yeah, and Ratchet and Clank 2, Clank does Dax's little dance.
Yeah.
I mean, Naughty Dog and Insomniac worked together literally right next to each other in the same office for, I think, most of Spyro 1 and
they
Crash.
were my OTP back in those days.
I haven't seen anything official coming from PlayStation or PlayStation Blog or even PlayStation Access stating whether or not it's actually part of the PS2 to PS4 program, which they upscale and do whatever, or if it's just a straight up port of the PS3 version. That being said, I don't think there was a Jak X port to PS3.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think there might have been, but do you know how many people like Jak X was so nothing to me? So I don't actually remember if I played that on PS3 or not. Yeah. If it was in the menu, I don't remember. Oh, thanks, Ghost. Just knocked the camera.
Oh. So it could be just a straight up port of the PS3 version. I mean, I think if it is, people are going to be a little bit upset if they paid for it on PS3.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a PS2, PS4, then you at least do get the upscale.
And at least
trophy support isn't so much of a deal because Jak and Daxter Trilogy did have trophy support on PS3 and Vita.
But I'm just thinking, when it's PS2 to PS4, you know what you're getting into kind of thing. Like, you're like, okay, this is just... They're making it so that I can play it on PS4.
Yeah.
You don't expect that much.
Well, the question really is if it's going to get any upscale or graphical overhauls. I mean, Last of Us got a remaster for PS4. Or if it's just straight up port and it's going to look the same. I think my biggest takeaway is that Jak X is going to be... The racing game is going to be included, but Crash Team Racing, which is, I think, a much more beloved game to people in my circles, was not included for the Insane trilogy.
Yeah, I would say that it should have been Crash 1, Crash 2, CTR. That's what it should have been, in my opinion.
I like 3 as well.
But if I had to pick, I would drop 3 for CTR. If I had the option.
I mean, probably just because they're very different projects. Insane is a complete overhaul from the ground up, whereas one's either just a port or just a slightly upscaled 1080p version.
Who knows?
I got
we'll
I got a
eventually.
brand new Ratchet and Clank game last year. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good.
Look, for me personally, more Naughty Dog is good Naughty Dog for me. So
fair enough. More Destiny 2 news this week. God, it's like we actually fucking like this game or something.
I know. We just
weird.
keep talking. It keeps falling out of our mouths. No, but that's the thing. It's like trying to look for news articles. It's exactly what we said last week. Lately, it's just Breath of the Wild, Destiny 2, and then you got to look in between the cracks for anything new.
Yeah. Or it's just rumors.
Yeah, or rumors. Or an announcement of an announcement day.
Yeah, which is the Xbox with Scorpio.
Yeah.
Which we're just going to talk about next week when they actually do it.
Destiny 2, yes, go.
A photo leaked online by acclaimed GameStop employee showing basic information for GameStop employees so they can sell the game correctly, which I think is good because I see so many.
So it's a frequently asked questions for the employees.
Yeah.
Which
is good because I see so many like bad articles or bad posts of people going in like, I went into GameStop, they said this. I immediately knew that was wrong.
Yeah.
Why do they not have a quality of life training program? So it's good that I guess Bungie and Activision are doing this external to GameStop. They're like, here, this is what you need to sell our game correctly.
I think every product and company is doing this since Wii U came out, and everyone thought that the Wii U was just like an addition to the Wii. But yeah, so answering questions like, do I need Destiny 1 to play Destiny 2? Which is a bit silly when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, not really, since they did DLCs. It's like, well, can I get Rise of Iron? No, you need...
There's a big number on it, though. There's a really big number that says 2. It's
Yeah.
big. It is the whole logo. There's a 2, and then there's a tiny little thing that says Destiny.
I think it may be for more like the mothers who are going like, I need... My son said he wants
Destiny, but
he wants
does he want Destiny?
this thing called Overwatch. Is that like Battleborn? Because there's lots of things, and he said something about a MOBA. I don't understand. But the takeaway question, the important question which everyone is focused on is, what is the expansion pass? And the answer being Destiny 2 expansion pass includes reservations for both expansion 1 and expansion 2, which will be released in winter 2017 and spring 2018 respectively. So we get a leaked time frame of when to expect the first 2 DLC drops of Destiny 2.
See, I know a lot of people hate on this kind of, situation that we're in with games now where there's an expansion pass. And a lot of people who actually played the original Destiny are excited because the expansions for Destiny 1 made the game crazy better.
Well, Taken King onwards, the first 2 were kind of...
We're kind of but then Taken King made it so much better, and then I feel like Rise of Iron even raised the bar. So I'm happy about it, knowing that we've got the expansion packs.
I know, but then you do find yourself in the same sort of question of, are they cutting out content from the original game to sell it as DLC?
That
if they've got stuff planned, then it's like, well, did you not think you could? Did you plan it and say, oh look, that can be cut out for DLC?
Yeah. Is this the Sims 2 where each expansion pack kept adding so much more, or is this the Sims 4 where life stage was literally taken out so it could be put back in as DLC?
Yeah.
What surprises me personally is just that expansion 1 is winter 2017. That's that to me, that speaks.
That's 2 months after the game.
Yeah, that to me
3
says
months.
Expansion 1 probably could have been in the game. Expansion 2 probably not.
It does sound good because it does mean that we're going to get more regular updates every 3 months. Hey, look, 3 months you're going to get a new expansion. It's not like now where we're like, oh, we've got nothing to do except Age of Triumph, which is just doing the old stuff again at a harder difficulty.
In all fairness, that is what people wanted.
Yeah, it is what they wanted, but it does come back to the same argument of, are you cutting out stuff? But with so many great games for console this year, like Horizon, Persona, Final Fantasy.
I'm sure there's something on the Xbox that someone can enjoy.
Yeah, I think that was... what was the one that Axon used to...
Recore!
That one. PC Master Race gets a little bit of love, even though it's late, with Batman Arkham VR coming out for Oculus Rift and HTC Vive later this month on April 25th. PS4's had that since
VR,
which was
PS VR
late last year. Will it work, or will it be Arkham Knight all over again? I don't know.
But I will say this: if it works and you have a PC and Oculus Rift or Vive,
then you have a lot of money.
Yes, you have a lot of money. Give me some. But get this game. Just get this game. It's short. It's sweet, but it is good. If they announced a new Batman VR game that's going to be full length, I would pre-order it. And I don't pre-order lightly, personally.
Fair enough. We'll switch it up with some Switch news.
Can we? I don't think we can play that sound effect, actually. I think
that's why I made it.
So yeah, a couple of Reddit users, and by a couple, literally 2 at the point that you wrote this.
That's all I saw. I think there may have been more.
There is a lot more, because I did do a hot Google check, my Google foo. So people have been reporting that their Switches will warp for people who just leave it in the dock for an extended period of time, don't take it off. They're the ones that have been reporting it the most.
I think, from what I garnered was that people were using this as an actual home console rather than its intended use of taking it out and playing it everywhere else.
Well, I think, it's advertised that it can be everything. It should be able to be used exclusively as a home console. But yeah, apparently it's been warping.
Flashback to Apple iPhone 6 days.
Yeah, I know. I've actually have a warped iPhone in my pocket right now. That's because I fell on it at a skate park, which is entirely different. Sorry about that. Again, difficulties. We'll look into it. So yeah, we're talking about the Switch. It's been warping in the dock. This poses a big problem because you cannot transfer save data so far. So if you've got 80 plus hours into Zelda
over the last month that the Switch has been out,
then,
or your hundreds of hours into snipper clips.
Oh yeah, you got to get all those. But I don't know what else you can do in snipper clips. Anyway, try to speedrun it maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you'll be able to get the Switch replaced, I believe, but you lose all the save data.
And possibly your digital downloaded games if...
No, that one I think is fine because it's tied to your ID account.
Is that the case now? Because
I'm fairly certain.
Because 3DS was not like that.
Yeah, 3DS was not like that.
Wii U was not like that. I
remember hearing about it in the Switch, though. When the Switch first came out, people were like, oh, finally, this is,
Finally, they've caught up to 2009.
Yes. But so the same Reddit user actually posted an update video stating that this is likely not as big as a deal as people are making it out to be, and that the performance wasn't affected at all.
Yeah, you could still play the games. It still ran fine.
It was purely aesthetic. But then another Reddit user. So this has all been on Reddit. I don't know. This has hit Gama Sutra, which is I think how you pronounce it, or Game Sutra. I don't know. That's the only official news site that had it. Otherwise, it's all been on Reddit. So yeah,
Node did post a preliminary thing a couple of days ago, but I think there's been more news since then.
So yeah, another Reddit user posted that the Switch's design actually lends itself to looking like it's warped. So while there definitely are cases of bending and warping, perhaps the majority are just tricks of the eye.
Maybe. I don't own a Switch, so we'll have to check yours.
Yeah, no, mine's absolutely fine. I've just been playing Snake Pass in bed. So.
Yep. All right. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode like always. Remember, Facebook is where we post our new episodes, so like us there to see when it goes up each Sunday night. If you want to see it while we get up into our personal lives, check us out on Twitter at BMW3 and at should be Matt, but you're not a heavy user, neither am I, but I'm on there fairly often.
We try.
And if you're just plain straight out not a social media person, do we have the deal for you? Just hit the subscribe button below and the little bell next to it to get notifications on your desktop so you will see when it goes up.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.